Okay, now next question was how to check the file existence. So let's suppose how I can show you these things. I can show in my local system only. So anyways, I can show you. Let's suppose you are opening the file f is equal to open and your file name you are passing, right? Sasank, for you are passing your file location. Just for example, just this is your file. And now how to check this file is existing or not? Then you can apply something like f dot is exist or os dot is exist. First you have to import the os, import os, and you don't need to open the file. You can directly check os dot is, and here you can pass your file name or file path. You will get to know. I think I have addressed these answers as well. Did I not? Hello? Am I audible?
No, sir. No, sir, this you did.
No, I think I gave the answer to Sasank privately. You asked this question.
Yes, sir.
So I think I have given this answer.
But I received the syntax errors.
Okay, show me that syntax error. Yeah. Now
Syntax error.
show me the syntax error. Where is your screen? I'm not able to see. Wait. But this is not a way to do that. Who had given this self revision dot path? Can you open my chat, please? Oh, I've lost all the chats. Just a minute. I'm giving you once again. So you can use this way. This is the way. Import os.path and os.path is file and your file name. That's all. And file name should be, do it now. Do it in front of me. I cannot show because everything is in my cloud, and in my cloud there is no file. Yes, Sasank, are you doing now?
Yes.
Yes.
Sir, is there any mistake from my assignments?
Okay, it's your assignment. I'll open in front of you only. Yeah, just do import os.path. Leave it that one. Create a new cell. ना? एक नया cell create कर लो. Create a new cell. हाँ. Just copy paste all the thing whatever I pasted. No. Just copy the things whatever I pasted in the chat. पूरा कॉपी करना ऊपर से दोनों लाइन को. Paste it here. Okay, now do one thing. Just pass your file name. Not self. Who is typing self? And why you are right? What do you mean by the self? This file name, file location. Where is your file? Where is your file? Which file you want to check whether this file is exist or not? अच्छा जाओ अपने लोकल सिस्टम का ये खोलो, लाइक एक्सप्लोरर, वेयर इज योर फाइल, जस्ट नेविगेट मी देयर।
This one, sir.
कहाँ है फाइल? हाँ, कॉपी करिए लोकेशन। कहाँ है फाइल?
Yeah, sir.
हाँ, तो इसका कोई एक्सटेंशन नहीं है। फाइल का मतलब मीन्स, सी, what you understanding about the file system should have some extension, either it's a text file, either it's a like ipynb file, अगर आप वीडियोस का देखते हो mp4 extension will be there, each file having their own extensions. So where is your extensions, and why you are not creating the extension while creation of files? Okay, just go to there, अपना, हाँ नीचे आओ, अपना फाइल का नाम कॉपी करो और उसमें पेस्ट करो। यस, यहाँ पे पेस्ट कर दो। इट शुड ऑलवेज शुड बी एक्सटेंशन, ओके? अभी के लिए ठीक है, बट इट ऑलवेज शुड बी एक्सटेंशंस। ऐसे कैसे फाइल है ये? फिर व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ फोल्डर एंड फाइल? देन हाउ यू विल गेट डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन द फोल्डर एंड फाइल? ट्रू, इट्स रिटर्निंग ट्रू मींस फाइल इज एग्जिस्ट। अच्छा, अब रिवीजन की जगह रिवीजन्स कर दो, एस कर दो। हाँ, जस्ट ट्राई टू एग्जीक्यूट। Now it's returning false because this file is not exist in your system. That's what it's returning false. Does it answer your question? And to be honest, like this is the not right way to doing, because file name always come up with some extensions. Otherwise, you will get a confused. It's a file or it's a directory, because directory का कोई extensions नहीं होता, but file should have some extensions. This makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Nice. You can stop your sharing. I'll start my discussion now. Okay, Akshaya, after this class, I will freeze some time for you to see your assignment. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now today's session, I'm gonna discuss about new thing like exception handling. I'll create a new folder, Day-09. Here is the Day-09 is getting created, and Day-09, and in the Day-09, I'm gonna open a new collaborative notebook. And I'm going to write exception handling. And first of all, we'll discuss about what is exception and why to handle. Exception handling. And exception handling is what? In any programming language, like you are doing any kind of programming language. Let me turn on this as well. Just a minute. Just a minute. Let me create one. Galaxy 21. So in any kind of programming language, in any kind of programming language, we have a two type of error is possible. So if I'll talk about exception handling, so in any type of programming language, we have a two type of error possible. Number one, syntax error. Number one is the syntax error. Number two, is runtime error. Runtime error. Okay, what is the syntax error? Basically, syntax error is your error, like programmer used to do. No one can find it out what is the syntax error. So syntax error, if I'll talk about syntax error, well, talk about syntax error, then syntax error is basically this error which occurred because of invalid syntax. Like generally programmer used to do this error. Generally, not generally, always programmer used to do this. If I'll give you example, let's suppose if I'm going to give you example like print my name is Rajesh. If I'll write this and this block will get executed successfully, no doubt at all. But let's suppose if I'll do the copy paste of the same line and if I'll paste it here and just see it's getting executed. Wait a minute. Okay, I am able to print this. My name is Rajat. Let's suppose I did some syntactical error. I open the double quote, but I forget to close this block. But if I'm executing this, I'm getting one syntax error. Can you see this? Syntax end of line. EOL means end of line while scanning the string literal. Means this line has not been ended anywhere. That's what I'm getting this error. This is known as the syntax error. And if your program containing any kind of syntax error, then your program will not execute at all. Like your program execution will never be start. So every time, like whenever you are getting any kind of syntax error, the programmer first responsibility is that to resolve this syntactical error. Okay, so without syntax error you cannot execute your program. So what is the important note here? If I'll type here important notes, so programmer is responsible to correct this syntax error, and once all syntax are corrected, then only your program execution will start it. So this is the very important thing. And second type of error is what? Runtime error. This is not your job. Like this can happen always. This is not like that. Like just now we got this error in his case, like Sasank case. He was executing and he was getting the syntax error, right? So syntax error is what, like at the compile time, in case of Python, there is a no compilations issues always coming. But in case of other language like Java, C, C++, there is these languages are compile time error, compile based language, and Python is the interpreted language. So in Python, you will not able to see the compile time error or writing time error. Compile time error means whenever you are writing the program, you will get an error at that moment only. It is not like that. That's what you are not able to understand why this error is coming. So, but if you are getting the syntax error, means your responsibility is that you have to solve. No one can help you to solve. And you are a programmer, means you have to solve. You should know what is the syntactical error. And runtime error is what? Let's suppose runtime error, if I'll talk about in the mathematics, suppose if I'm going to divide 10 divided by 2, what the output will come? At output will be 5. But let's suppose if I'm typing 10 divided by 0, okay, and what the output should come? The output is infinite. But in programming language, it's throwing zero division error. Means at the runtime, we understood that we cannot divide any number by 0. That's what we are getting zero division. And this error came at the runtime. While executing the program, we found this error. That's what this is known as the zero division error. Does it make sense? And runtime error we cannot able to encounter while writing the code. Except if you have a very good amount of experience, then only you can able to encounter your runtime error at while writing the code only. But to be honest, like these runtime error solvation techniques will come based on your experience only. Any question in the compile time and runtime error?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Let me write that. And if I'll talk about the definition of exception, if I'll ask you what is the definition of exception, what is exception, then can you elaborate in the definition part? Like
No, no, नॉर्मल एक्सपेक्टेड कोड से अलग तरीके अलग रेस्पॉन्स अलग आंसर देना.
If you will talk like this in
It is an
interview,
exception.
if you will speak like this in interview, does interviewer will be happy with your answer? You have to, क्या बोलते हैं, like you are looking like good, but if you are going for any kind of orientations or any kind of program, you have to do the denting painting on your face, then only people will like you, otherwise people will start ignoring you. So interview also is the same. You know everything, you know the concept, but if you are not able to do the denting painting on your conversation, then no one can like you, no one can accept you. Does it make sense? So exception, if I'll talk about exception, an unwanted and unexpected event. See, this is the unwanted and unexpected event occurred while executing the normal flow of the program is called exception. So anything which we don't want and which we don't accept while executing the normal flow of the program is occurring, that is known as the exception. Like in chemistry also we have seen like titrations. Okay, if you mix A and B component, the C component will occur. But no, if it is a base kind of element, then if you mix with the acid, then the byproduct will be something different. This is known as the exception. In the normal flow, we introduce something new thing. That is known as the exception. Does it make sense? So if I will write a definition of exception,
Yes, sir.
yeah, if you'll write the definition of exception, an unwanted and unexpected event that disturb the normal flow of the program is called exception. Okay. Yeah. Now, what are the different type of exception can be occurred? So type of exception, I'm talking about the runtime exception, not syntax error, because syntax error you're responsible to solve. And now you are at such a position that you should know what is the syntax error. Because see, if you open this double quote, if it is not closed, then means you should know like where it should close, right? Now, different type of exception, if I'll talk about here, double FERENT, different type of exception. Number one, zero division exception. Number one is zero division. Just now we have seen zero division number. Zero division exception. Number two, type error. Okay, type error, I'll talk about this. I am not able to. Type error. Second is value error. Third is value error. I will talk about all those things, don't worry. But zero division error, you know, right now. File not found error. I am very
Yes, sir.
superior. Why this kind of thing is occurring with me? I'm not able to do write anything. End of file error. UF. End of file error. And yeah. So let's discuss about these things one by one, and we'll see what is the zero division error and how to solve this exception and what is the purpose to solve the exception. Okay, let's understand the purpose to solve the exception, because let's suppose you wrote 1,000 line of code. You wrote 1,000 line of code. This 1,000 line of code you wrote. Okay, and your execution has been done successfully till 800 line. Till 800 line of code, your execution has been done successfully. But after 801 line came, and there the zero division error occurred, and your whole program execution got spoiled. So now, due to that one line of code, your whole program execution is getting spoiled. Does it a good practice? Is it a good practice? No. So always, whenever you feel like, okay, here the exception might occur and here the exception will occur, then we have to solve this exceptional block. We have to take it in a very smart way. So whole flow should not get disturbed and whole normal flow should get happen successfully. Does it make sense? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So here we should always write exceptional handling. How to handle the exception? So exception handling, let me write exception handling block here. How to handle the exception. Exception handling, see, this is not a new to for Python. This is always common for any kind of language, either if you are learning Java or C++, any kind of language. Exception handling is very common topic for any kind of programming language. So how to handle the exception? First thing is that, so wherever you think like exception might occur, then that block you should always keep inside of try block. Write your logic where you feel exception might occur. Write your logic where you feel exception might occur inside of try block. Try block. So this is the try block. And and except and write your exception name. What kind of exception you are thinking? Exception type here, and here you can write your exception block message. Message here you should type. That's all. So this is the way to doing these things and how to handle the exception. Let me show you how to handle the exception in this case. Okay, so again, let me show you the part what I was trying to show. Let's suppose we have a 10 divided by 0 and we got 0 division exception, no doubt. Now what we can do, if you're thinking, let's suppose I'm going to write print explaining exceptional print explaining 0 division exception. Okay, and now I'm gonna explain this. I'm gonna print this explained the 0 division exception. That's all. Now what I can do, I can keep these things inside of try block, like there the exception will come. So you can keep these things inside of try, and here we can keep here except except 0 division exception, except exception type as z, and here I can type print 0 division exception occurred. 0 division exception occurred. Now if I'll execute this, can you see this? I didn't get any error because I handle these things inside of try. So what happened? Just try to understand. Here this line of code will execute successfully. Okay, we got the printing message explaining the 0 division exception. Now it came into the line number 2, and it reach inside of try block, and it check. Okay, 10 is getting divided by 0. Exception occurred. The whatever exception occurred, that got handled, that got catched. Catch means accepted by line number 4, and line number 4 is a 0 division exception, so it went inside of this block. So we got 0 division occurred wala message, and then line number 6 got executed. Let's suppose if I'll do 10 divided by 2, okay, will it 0 division exception will occurred? Tell me fast.
No, sir.
No, it will not occur, means line number 5 will not execute. Okay, let me write that. Can you see this? Line number 5 got executed? No, it didn't execute. So that's why we are not getting 0 division exception. So zero division exception block will only execute when the zero division exception will occur. Will it be sensible to you? Bolo, bolo.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now I would like to talk more about exceptional type. Let me write the text. So I'm going to discuss about Python exception hierarchy. Python's EXCPTI hierarchy. What are the different type of exception is there? So first one is base exception. What is the base exception? Base exception is something which is coming inside of any exception. Like let's suppose base exception means whenever the exception is coming, first it is triggering to that point, and from there it is getting categorized. Okay, this is zero division exception. It's a zero division exception, or it's a zero division exception, or it's a normal execution exception, or it's a type error, or it's a file not found exception. What is the type of exception? This is falling under the base exception. Okay, so this block is responsible to check what are the different type of exception it is. Okay, then what is that base exception? Then there is a second inside of base exception. Uh, we have exception block. Second, we have system exit inside a base exception itself. Okay, system exist. Third topic is generator exist. I'll talk all those things. Generator exit. And fourth is what? Keyboard interrupt. Interrupt. Keyboard interrupt. Okay, these are four type of exception, and inside of exception block again there is a different type of exception is coming, which is known as the arithmetic exception. Let's suppose what are different type of exception is coming under the exception block. First is arithmetic exception. Inside of arithmetic exception, what is the different type of exception is there? Number one, just arithmetic exception, and inside of arithmetic exception we are coming as arithmetic exception. We have zero division exception error. We have zero division error. Number two, we have floating point error. Floating point error. Number three, overflow error. I'll talk about all those things. This is the hierarchy. So in interview, if you are going, then any question is coming from the exception block, you should mention that way, like base exception. Then inside of base exception, we have an exception. Exception is known as the parent class exception for any kind of exception. Like if you don't know in advance what type of exception will occur at the runtime, you can accept these things with the exception. Means what I'm trying to say, just try to understand. You know, in this place, you know, like it might occur the zero division error. So you accept these things with the zero division exceptional block. But what will happen if you don't know in advance, like what kind of exception will occur? Then in that case, what you can do, you can handle the exception with the parent exception. And what is the parent exception? Parent exception is nothing but EXCE exception. This, if you don't know, let's suppose, just try to understand, huh? I'm just commenting this line of code, and if I'll execute these things, it will execute properly. And if I'll execute, see, this exception block will handle any kind of exception. See, the zero division exception also get handled with this exception block. But if you are handling with other exception, like let's suppose, okay, you are going to ask some question from the .NET. Will I able to handle the .NET question? No, I will ignore that question. But if someone from the tech giant who know all the technologies, and if you are coming at that place, and if you are asking .NET, Java, Selenium, whatever questions is coming in your mind, if you want to ask, he or she will able to answer that question. The exception block is something which is known as the parent exception, which can handle any kind of exception if you don't know. But recommendation is that as a programmer, you should know in advance what kind of exception it can be. It might be occurred in the future, so that you should always handle that exception only, nothing else. So that in production, you will get to know what are the error, what are the problem in your system, so that you can handle these things in a better way. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's discuss about all those things. I think we'll discuss about the exceptional block, and we'll discuss about all those things. Okay, so just one by one we'll go around it. Okay, how to handle the means how to write the exceptional block, that we already seen, like just now, how to handle the any kind of exception, like first try and accept, that's all. And except, inside of except, you can write your exceptional block. Is it a zero division exception? It's a normal exception. It's a type error. It's a end of file error, or it's a whatever it is. Okay, as per your convenient, you can type it out here, so you will get to know what is the error it is. Okay, so now just try to understand all those things. Let's understand. Let's have a control flow of try and accept block. Just collab paid product. What happened? I don't know. $10.38. Is it collab has been done something? Can say subscription activity collab subscription. Ah. Okay, no worries, no worries. I'll open this file in my local system. Maybe they have been changed some policies. I will download this first. Offline.
Sir, your voice is getting break.
Is it? Now is it fine? Hello? Is it okay now? Hello, now is it okay? Hello? Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I don't
Yes.
it got connected with some other Wi-Fi. Okay, I'll open these things in my local system. Okay. Collab Pro is creating some problem. Doubt my teaching. This is the Day-09, I think. It's content. Day-09. Okay, I will open these things with Jupyter Notebook. Hold on. Teaching. Content. Yeah. In the same note I opened with this. Now I wanted to show you I wanted to show you guys like control flow in try and except block. So how we are going to check these things? First try, and then we are going to write here statement stmt1, stmt2, stmt3. So these are the except statement we are going to write. Now we are going to write exception, 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 and here I'm gonna write, oh sorry, not exception, except an exception name. Whatever exception name you are getting, you can write here, and here you can write statement 5, stmt5. You are going to write exception here, like first 1 to 3 statements should execute successfully. If there is any exception is coming, then that whenever the exception will come, then statement 5 should run or statement 4 should run. Okay, whatever you are going to write in the exception block. But let's suppose above 3 statement is executed successfully and should not execute statement 5, then we should go with the exceptional block. Okay, so now we'll discuss all those things case by case. Case 1. Case 1. What is the case 1 is saying? Just try to understand. If there is no exception, if there is no exception, then 1, 2, 3, 4, then see, I'm writing everything. Just try to understand. If you have any kind of doubt, feel free to ask me right now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and normal termination will execute normally. Case 2, just try to understand case 2. If I'll talk about case 2 is what? If an exception raised in statement 2, if an exception raised in statement 2 and corresponding exception block matched, and corresponding exceptional block will matched, then 1, 4, 5 termination, then 1, 4, 5 normal termination. Means what I'm trying to say, let's suppose in the line number 2 it occurred 0 division exception. 0, just try to understand in the way it occurred 0 division exception. Then what you can type here, we can write multiple exception block in one with one try block. So if 0 division exception block, then you can type here 0 division exception, so this line will not execute. Instead of this line number 5 will, statement number 6 will get executed. Okay, statement 6 will get executed, and 1 and 3 will execute normally. That makes sense. Case 3, I can show you in the practically as well, don't worry. Case 3, what I'm trying to say, case 3, if the exception raised in statement 2 and the corresponding exception block not matched, means let's suppose 0 division exception occurred and you didn't handle that 0 division exception here, then one abnormally termination, means not match, then one will get abnormally terminations, means it will not normally terminate, it will throw an error. Case 4, if I'll talk about case 4, if an exception occurred raised in the statement 4, if an exception raised at statement 4 or statement 5, then it always abnormal, termination. Now let's try to understand these things on a better way. Okay, so let's suppose you are gonna write this print 10 divided by 0, you're gonna write this And I'm gonna, okay, I would like to keep this thing inside of try block, so that, and this I'm gonna write here except try accept, and I am typing here zero division error. Yes, you can type any message here as E or whatever it is. Uh, print. So you can see exception raised, and its description is zero division by zero. So we are getting this message, and that's fine. Let's suppose you are, instead of zero division error, you are going to check type error. You are trying to handle a type error. And will it handle? No, it is still showing the zero division error. But what will happen? With one try block, you can write as many as except block. That is up to you. So here, instead of type error, we can write here zero division error. And can you see this? It got executed. Means with one try block, you can write as many as exception block, that up to you. And also there is a one thing. I'm gonna copy paste this line of code once again, paste it here. And instead of zero division error, I'm gonna write here except exception. And this is the normal exception. I'm gonna write general exception. And you can see, if I'm executing these things, I'm not getting that general exception because it got handled by zero division exception itself. Now, if I'll copy, if I'll remove, if I'll comment this line, now we'll see. Can you see this? If zero division exception is not present, then this parent exception block is handling all kind of exception. Does it make sense? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So now, when the file not found, let's understand about the file not found exception. Okay, it's for you. Oh, you was asking this question, Shashank, today morning itself. File not found error. So let's suppose you are gonna write this message, try, open, and here you are gonna pass the file name .txt, whatever file it is. It's MP4, so whatever file, and that file not present in that. So how you can handle this block? Except uh, file not found exception, file not found error, or file exists, file not found error. And here you can pass as message, and here you can pass print file not found error. You can handle these things in this way. It's a smart way to doing these things. Okay, fine. Can you guys write a code to file not found error? Just get the file from your local system and try to implement this logic. See, whatever I'm typing to you. But if you can type from your end by understanding the things, and it will be helpful for you. Okay, you are understanding something and you are implementing those things. Can you write that logic for file not found error? Just do the copy paste these things. That's all. And here you have to pass your file name. That's all. Can you do that? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, please do it. Please do it now. Just see this screen and just try to implement your file not found exception. Show me the scenario. Two scenario you have to show. One, the file not found exception is occurring, and another file not found exception is not occurring. Two scenario you have to display. Okay.
So my code it's showing the error file not found error, but
Yeah.
उसी फाइल में अगर मैं टेक्स्ट फाइल कर रहा हूँ तो ये नहीं बता रहा हूँ
Okay.
response वही
So
बता रहा है
if
कि
you are
file not
getting
found.
file not found error means you didn't solve this problem. It should not throw that. It should handle by exception block. That was the question. Okay, let's see. Okay, anyone able to do that? Okay,
Even I got same error, sir. File not found.
any one of you can share your screen and I will solve one of the problem, one of your problem. Maybe they can replicate the same.
Should I?
Yeah, you can. Anyone can.
Okay, Shashank is already presenting.
Okay. Shashank is presenting. Is it Shashank screen? Okay. And where your except block, it's a syntactical error. See, syntax error, I'm not gonna solve now. You are a programmer, you have to solve the syntax error. Except block should be the same alignment of the try block. Where is the try block alignment? The same line except block will be. As नहीं है भाई. Oh my. Let me take a screenshot. Fine. Actually. Okay, anyways, no worries, Sasank. It happened. Don't worry. Don't be panic. Okay. So except block को try block के alignment पे लाओ पहले तो. Backspace मारो E के पास. हाँ. And file ठीक है भाई, ठीक था. Enter कर फिर. हाँ, उसको try के alignment पे लाओ. It should be in same alignment of try. Yes, that's all. And now this file not found. हटाना इसको file not found जो लिखा है except के बाद. It's a class actually. So you have to write the same name. हटा पूरा हटा. File not error को भी हटाओ. Yes. Type F capital. हाँ, अब टैब दबा. Press tab. हाँ, you are getting right. File not found error. Third number पे. Select that. Yes. It should not be कि आप कुछ भी लिख दोगे. It's a class, wrapper class. और नहीं है भाई को हटा. उसको मैसेज डाल MSG. You know, write how to write a keyword, like rules to write a keyword. हाँ, and that file not found और वहां पे मैसेज डाल दे अपना कुछ भी मैसेज है नीचे नीचे वाला लाइन में. यस, नहीं है भाई यहाँ डाल दे, खुश हो जाए. It, whatever your custom message, it should be inside a print, like inside of double quote. लिखेगा ये. Okay, ठीक है. Execute that. Yeah, it's got executed means that file is exist. अब revision की जगह revisions कर दे. नहीं है. ठीक है. Did you get your solution? I think everyone got the solutions.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, nice. Everyone should not write like this. नहीं है भाई. I want to meet with you, Sarank, this weekend. Okay, next weekend we'll meet over the class. Fine. Okay, cool. So we understood about the exception block, right? And we also understood in a single try, you can write multiple exception block. That's fine. Now coming to the finally block.
सर बीच में निकले सॉरी बट ये जो हमारा जो फाइल होना चाहिए दैट शुड बी इन द सेम फोल्डर एज आवर कोड राइट.
It is not like that. It should be in the same folder. It can be different folder. Share your screen. I'll show you. Share your screen. I can show you that part.
Yes sir, excellent. Screen. Yes sir.
Yeah. Sure.
दिखाई दे रहा है.
हाँ, yeah, I can see that. Okay, so आपका जो hello.txt है, let's suppose
Yes,
in
sir.
different folder. Can you go to the different folder in your Explorer and just copy the path of your that folder?
Copy path.
हाँ, कर ले.
Yes. Yes sir, excellent. Copy path, control C.
हाँ, absolute path. नहीं, क्लोज करना है इसको क्लोज करना।
Yes, sir.
हाँ, राइट क्लिक करना hello डॉट टेक्स्ट के ऊपर,
Yes, sir.
कॉपी पाथ प्रेफरेंस।
Yes, sir.
हाँ, अब पहला वाला एब्सोल्यूट पाथ, यस, कॉपी करना।
Uh,
हाँ, क्लिक
yes, sir.
करना। हाँ,
Copy.
अब ओपन में जो हेलो टेक्स्ट लिखा है उसको हटा और वो पूरा पाथ डाल दे। अरे लाइन नंबर 2 में, लाइन नंबर 2 में,
Okay, yes.
हाँ, उसमें पेस्ट कर दो, जस्ट पेस्ट इट है, या एंड जस्ट लाइक दिस। देख, अभी तेरा hello डॉट टेक्स्ट इस फोल्डर में, सो यू आर राइटिंग लाइक दिस, बट लेट्स सपोज योर hello डॉट टेक्स्ट इज समथिंग डिफरेंट फोल्डर, यू कैन गेट द कॉपी ऑफ द फाइल लोकेशन एंड यू कैन पेस्ट लाइक दिस एंड इट विल वर्क।
Okay, yes.
डज इट मेक सेंस? या इट विल
Yes,
वर्क,
sir.
डोंट वरी।
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Makes sense.
Fine. Now I'm gonna discuss about finally block. So what finally block is what? It is not, let's suppose you are writing 10,000 line of code and some exception got occurred. You handle that exception. But due to that reason, some of the code got blocked. So let's suppose some important features is there that has to be executed at any moment of time. That should always come inside of finally block. So what is the finally block? It does, finally block, it does like, so let's suppose what I'm trying to say, finally block. Let's suppose आपने कुछ code लिखा है and it's creating some files, okay? And it's creating some files, and afterwards it's writing something. But while writing the things in your file, created file, it throwing some exception. So due to that, कंप्लीट फाइल तो क्रिएट हो गया बट लिखा नहीं गया और आपको एरर भी नहीं पता चला. बट योर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इज दैट इफ सम एक्सेप्शन इज occurring, then you should delete that file as well. So that block is always writing inside of finally block. And finally का मतलब ही होता है like अगर कुछ भी हो, whatever condition is that, the finally block always should execute. That's all. This block will be executed by any cost. अभी मैं समझाता हूँ क्या है. So let's suppose आपने ट्राई ब्लॉक लिखा एंड ट्राई ब्लॉक में आपने लिखा रिस्की कोड, आपने लिखा रिस्की कोड, जहां पे आपको लग रहा है एक्सेप्शन आएगा, वो कोड आपने यहाँ डाल दिया. एंड वॉट एवर एक्सेप्शन इज कमिंग, EXCE एक्सेप्ट, और यहाँ पे आप उस एक्सेप्शन को हैंडल कर रहे हो, हैंडलिंग द एरर. नाउ आप फाइनली ब्लॉक लिखा, फाइनली ब्लॉक में आप क्या लिखेंगे, क्लीन अप द कोड, दैट्स ऑल. मतलब दिस ब्लॉक विल गेट एग्जीक्यूट एट एनी मोमेंट ऑफ टाइम बाय एनी कॉस्ट. नाउ अगर मैं इस चीज को रैंप अप करने की कोशिश करता हूँ तो समझो इस चीज को. लेट मी कॉपी दिस, कंट्रोल A, कंट्रोल C एंड कंट्रोल V. आई एम गोना राइट हियर प्रिंट ट्राई ब्लॉक and print except block, and here it is print finally block. एग्जीक्यूट, देखो ट्राई ब्लॉक तो एग्जीक्यूट हुआ, फाइनली ब्लॉक एग्जीक्यूट हुआ. बट लेट सपोज यहाँ पे ट्राई ब्लॉक में अगर कुछ एरर आता है 10/0, सो दैट इज गेटिंग हैंडल्ड बाय एक्सेप्शन ब्लॉक और फाइनली ब्लॉक अभी भी चला. So in both the cases, whether try block will execute or except block will get executed, in both the cases finally block हमेशा ही रन होगा. Does it make sense? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Fine. I think this is all about the exception block, exceptional conditions, and let me give some questions. I think more sensible. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm gonna discuss about more interesting topic and which will be helpful for everyone. Like it's so. Though you are a good programmer, but whenever the oops concept is coming into the picture, then always people are getting mumbling what is there going to happen and it's going over my head. So you know all the concept right now, all the keywords, all the Python logic, everything you guys are knowing about these things. But still, if you don't know the oops concept, your value is zero. So we'll discuss about the oops concept now, and I'll want take a 5 to 10 minute of break so that you guys can be at a fresh mind before going to start the oops concept. Does it make sense? Okay, fine. I'm gonna put a 10 minute of timer so that you guys can be take your water and whatever you guys want to do, just do that. Yes, come in. Ah. Oh, okay, okay. Just a minute. Okay, so let's have a 10 minute of break and we'll be continue at the same at the 10:20. Does it make sense? Yeah, okay. So I'm starting the timer. We'll continue. Just take a water or whatever it is and the patience you need. Okay, just come. Okay. Hello everyone. Are we back?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So I am gonna open notes here only day 9, day 9. I'm gonna discuss about OOPS concept. What do you mean by the OOPS concept? Okay. So here I'm gonna write diagram explanation of OOPS. Okay. Explanation of OOPS. OOPS stands for Object Oriented Programming System. Okay, what do you mean by the Object Oriented Programming System? Though you know whole coding and whatever codings we have seen so far, so forth, it's known as the scripting language. So, but whenever we are coming to the system design problem, that time this scripting logic will not come into the picture. That time we are coming up with the, more modular coding. Okay, so whenever we are talking about the modular coding, that time OOPS concept is coming into the picture. And what the benefit of writing the OOPS concept by the modular coding? It's a very easy to maintain and it's very logical to understand, and also serialization is very easy to implement with the help of OOPS concept. Let's discuss about the OOPS concept first with one story, and so that just try to understand about this story, and if you are able to understand this story, then OOPS concept is easy for you. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, just try to understand. Let's suppose you want to buy a phone. Okay, what you will do? So this is that person. Where is that person? This is a person. This is you. Just try to understand. This is you, and you want to buy a phone. You want to buy a phone. What you will do? Where is the phone? चलो इसी को बना देते हैं फोन. इसी को बनाते हैं फोन. But will we always be square? इसको बना दिया जाए फोन. Let me write this as well, phone. Okay, you want to buy a phone, and that phone description is something. Phone name, it should be iPhone. Category should be iPhone. Camera should be 32 megapixel. Back. और क्या क्या चेक करते हो? Anything else you are checking? 32
Storage.
Yeah, 32 megapixel. And storage. Storage भी दो तरह का होता है, like RAM and ROM. What is storage you are looking for? RAM is how much? It should be 16 GB or it's 8 GB, whatever it is, and ROM should be 32 or 64 GB. So 64 GB. Anything else we are checking while buying phone?
Hello.
Sorry. Hello.
Phone color, sir. Whether it is black or.
रुको. That is also I can help you out. Okay. So you are talking about the phone color, body color, right? And anything else we are checking while purchasing the phone? Or iPhone लिख देते तो it's very construct about the Apple only. So we'll talk about brand. Okay. So now it's fine. Anything else? Are we checking while purchasing the phone? Come on, guys, it's your area of interest questions. In this, or at least you should show your interest.
Graphics.
Graphics, yeah, it's coming. Anything else?
Then sound.
Sound, yeah. Speaker quality, we can say.
Yes.
Are you
Processor.
checking the speaker quality in phones? I never checked that. Okay, anyways. Anything else?
Processor, sir.
Processor, correct. देखो आया ना अब ये interest में. Processor. Anything else? No. Okay, fine. This is your this phone you are looking for, and now just try to help me. Like this configuration of phone will come under which budget? बजट नहीं चेक करेगा?
अभी फिलहाल नहीं।
अच्छा, so anyways this category of phone will come under which budget? As per me, what I am understanding is around 30 to 40k. Okay, so phone will come under 30 to 40k and your budget is around 10 to 20k. Just try to understand what you will do. Like if you are going to buy a phone, what you will do? Let's suppose you are going to do, just a minute, huh? It's texting, it's a bit urgent. Okay, so what you will do, let's suppose you are going to buy as a offline, this phone you are going to buy as a offline. What you will do, you will go to your market, and this is the complete market. Okay, I will write here only this phone description, I'll write it here, and this is your market. Okay, if I'll talk about, this is your market, and inside a market there is a lot of things is there, right? Inside a market there might be, if I will talk about inside a market, there might be some grocery shops. Let's just try to understand, GROCERY, grocery shop. और एक चीज और देख लेते हैं, आफ्टर ग्रोसरी शॉप देयर विल बी, क्या और होता है, वेजिटेबल शॉप, वेजिटेबल शॉप। और क्या होता है वेजिटेबल शॉप के बाद मार्केट में, और क्या क्या होता है, लाइक different kind of shops, electronic shop. Now coming to the next part is the electronic shop. Okay, so we came into the electronic shop. There's a lot of things is there in the market. Now आपको फोन लेना है, you have to buy this phone. Which shop you will select? Electronic shop, grocery shop, vegetable shop? Spelling mistake हो गया क्या? Vegetable shop. Which shop you will select? Electronic shop?
Electronic.
Exactly, you have to select the electronic shop. Oh, I'm going to make it bigger. Yeah, now it is fine. You will select electronic shop, or in the electronic shop, just bear with me. Okay, this is the electronic shop, and this is the electronic shop ka gate hai. Just try to understand in that way. This is your electronic shop gate. Okay, or else I can write it here. This is electronic shop gate, and now in this gate there will be one person which is known as the owner of your shop, है ना, होता है ना ऐसा? This is the owner of your shop, owner of the shop. And what you will do, this is you, right? You went in next to owner, and you, as soon as owner is seeing to you, and he is going to ask like, hello sir or madam, what are you looking for? Okay, so now you are going to say, hello sir, I am looking for one phone. And as soon as you're replying that, the owner, just try to understand this conversation, and this owner will ask, okay, may I know what configuration you are looking for? Then you are going to say this kind of configuration, and then owner again is asking, okay, may I know what is your budget, in which budget you are looking for? Then you are going to give your budget. He is collecting all the informations with you, and now what he is doing, this owner is calling to the next person. It's very hard to track this. This owner will call next person, which is, you can say it's a servant of this shop, होता है ना हर शॉप में एक 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 रामू काका, लाइक ही नोज ऑल दोस थिंग्स। अगर मेडिकल शॉप में ही देखते हो, इफ यू आर गोइंग इन द मेडिकल शॉप, इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर पैरासिटामोल और समथिंग, you cannot understand where is the paracetamol in that medical shop, but that shopkeeper person will get to know where is the paracetamol exactly. Okay, so this that person who knows everything. Now this owner is calling to this person, this owner. This owner will call to this person, and I will make a different arrow. Okay, this owner will call this person, this not a actor, it should be servant. This owner will call to this servant, and again this owner is going to give all the information what he collected with you to his servant. And now servant is going to, and inside of shop again, let me draw a few things. Let me draw these lines. Just a minute, bear with me. Why I'm not able to make these things? I just try to understand it's a rack. Just try to understand it's a rack. That's all. I'll make it rack only. It's very hard to type it here, or else I can write it like this. Yeah, this is fine. These are the racks. Are the racks, you know, right? Where we are keeping our items. So this person knows where this particular which rack is responsible to collect this kind of phone, and it's going to that place and collecting those phones and it bringing back to the owner, and owner is start showing to you. Is it happening like this? Anything else which you want to add here? Now I will correlate these things with the oops. Anything else, guys, which I am missing here?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Cool. So and now we try to I'm trying to convert these things with the help of oops concept. Okay. It's very disturbing in the WhatsApp whenever I'm opening these things. Let me close the WhatsApp first. Just a minute. Okay. So now I'm trying to correlate these things with the oops concept. Okay. So basically, you is what? You is a programmer. Means right now what job you are doing. Okay. Next, you are the owner. Owner is what? Owner is nothing but it's your and let me write these things first. It's a memory. I'm trying to correlate these things with the help of machine system. Okay, command jet, so that I can explain these things with the help of I'll do one thing. I will just do the copy paste of these things. In some other place. Okay. Command C, and I'm gonna paste it Command V. Now I'll make it here. And this owner and this racks. Racks is nothing but memory. And electronics को भी हटा देते हैं. And अभी के लिए I will do one thing. Servant is nothing but in programming concept we used to call as a reference variable. Reference variable. Owner is nothing but your machine, or you can say interpreter. That's all in Python. Okay. Hope you are able to understand this logic terminology, and this is nothing but your object. This is called as object. Okay. So जब भी आप program, whenever you are typing the program, you are a programmer, right? So programmer is creating the object inside of machine, and now programmer is calling to the interpreter, and interpreter is how you are writing the logic. Interpreter start asking the question that way, and it's just trying to solve your problem. It's just asking the one by one as calling the reference variable to get the information from the memory. That's all. This is all about the OOPS concept. Now coming to the OOPS concept, what is OOPS? Let me do one thing. Oh, did I start recording? Yeah, this recording is already started. Now I'm gonna create new Python file so that OOPS concept. I'll add these things in your drive. So OOPS concept in the Python object-oriented programming concepts is what? We have a class. We'll have a class. And class is nothing but, if I'll correlate these things, this is known as the class. Electronics is a class. Okay. So if I will talk about class, this is a class. Are you getting my point? This is your class. And this is the object. This is the object, and this is the owner, means this is known as the interpreter, and this is your reference variable. This is your memory. So whenever you are writing object-oriented programming concept, we should have two things. One is class and one is object. And now try to understand what is object, what is class. Class. If I'll talk about class, what is the class? Class is the blueprint of the object. Class is the, write this markdown. Class is the blueprint of the object. Class is the one. Just a minute. Class is the blueprint of the object. Class is the blueprint of the object, and it not occupied any space, actual space, not any actual space in the memory. Okay. And object is what? Object is the real-time entity. It is the real-time entity.
Sir, actual space you didn't type.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll correlate these things with this diagram so that you can understand. Up to this story समझ में आया कि नहीं, पहले ये बताओ. Are you able to understand the story?
Yes, yes.
हाँ, अगर आपको story याद है तो it's my responsibility to help you to understand. It is the real-time entity which take space which can be visualized by okay, it is the real-time entity which take space in the memory, which take actual space in the memory. Okay, so now just try to understand what is the actual space which occupied actual space. What do you mean by the actual space? And which okay, now just try to understand. Whenever we are creating the shop, actually shop is what? Shop may whatever items are there inside of shop, that is actually taking the space in your memory, not the shop. Is it so? Yes. So here also the same concept. Whenever you are creating the class, it not occupied any space in the memory until unless if you are not putting some space, putting some item inside of your class, it not occupied any space in the memory. That's what I wrote. Whenever you are creating the class, it not occupied any space in your memory. But if you are storing some object inside of class, then only it occupied the space in the memory. Okay, does it make sense? Hello.
Yes, sir.
If not, then feel free to let me know. I am okay to address once again. Not question, then fine. Okay, so if I will talk more about what is class. So if I will talk more about in Python based, so in Python, everything is an object. To create an object, we require some model or plan a blueprint, which is nothing but class. In Python, everything is object. To create an object, we require some model or plan or blueprint, which is nothing but class. Number two, we can write a class represent. Okay, let it to be, I think this is fine. An object, I think I already given the example. And let's suppose if someone is asking what is class in the interview, no one is gonna ask this question. But yes, if someone is asking, then you can just define it is just a blueprint of the object. It not occupied any space in the memory. Okay, but all the object creations is getting done. Object is storing inside of class, and though it not occupy any space in the memory, so until unless if you are not creating the space in object inside of class, it not hooked any memory in your real system. So now if I'll ask you how to define a class, how to define the class. So statement is simple class, and here you can write your class name, whatever class name you are gonna write, that class name, and this is all about just to create a class. Now, if I'll talk about, let's understand these things. So let me show you in a better way. And if you're not writing anything, just type pass. And I'm gonna write class, and here I'm gonna write class name, and I'm gonna write a class name as a student, just a class name as a student, and that's all. And here I'm this a student class. And now see this, we created a shop. Does it hooked any space in the memory? Okay, so this student class, is it occupying any space in the memory? No, because we have not created any object inside of this class. So now I'm gonna write doc string. So doc string is something like this. So this student class with required data. Okay. With required data. And now I'm gonna write some message here, print. Print, I'm gonna write here. This is student class. And can you see this? This I just wrote inside of class and it got executed. But actually thing is that it's a part of the class, but it got automatically executed inside of class whenever, and you know, this is not occupied any space in the memory. It got executed on your compiler. Okay, so now if I will talk more about the variables part, within the Python class, we can represent data by using the variables. Number one, there are three type of variable are allowed in case of Python. Number one, instance variable. Number one is the instance variable. Number two is the static variable. A very important popular interview question: what is the instance variable? What is the static variable? And third one is the local variable. So if I will write these things, instance variable. So those variable I'm gonna define here only. What is the instance variable? Those variable which declared or defined, which defined inside the class, but outside the method, is known as instance variable. And why it called as an instance variable? What do you mean by the instance variable? Basically, instance variable is means its name, it called as an instance. Okay, if I will talk about instance variable, so here if you are creating int a, oh sorry, not like this, a is equal to 2. So this is known as the instance variable. Can you see this? Why I'm calling this instance variable? Because it's inside of class, but outside of any method. That's what it's an instance variable. Now my question is, why it called as an instance variable? Because the, see, though we define a is equal to 2, but it not initialize any space in the memory until unless if we are not creating the object inside of class. Okay, so once we'll create an object means until unless you are not calling that servant of the shopkeeper, the phone will not come onto the desk. So that's the same reason. And once you are creating the object, then only it occupied space in the memory. That's what known as the instance variable. Does it make sense? Once the object part is done, it release the memory as well. That's what known as the instance variable. Okay. अरे कुछ तो बोलो.
Yes, sir.
बस. Static variable. Those variable which is declared inside the class, but with static, static keyword. हम बताएंगे इस व्हाट यू मीन बाय द स्टैटिक, लेकिन अभी जस्ट समझ लो कैसे समझेंगे स्टैटिक वेरिएबल है. लाइक इफ यू आर गोइंग टू क्रिएट एनी वेरिएबल लाइक b is equal to 3, okay, but if you are writing just static in front of b, then static, okay, then it will treat as a static variable. Okay, and yeah, now I'm gonna write some class object implementations. Bear with me. So let's suppose we have one class, student, we have a class, and inside of student, and here you can write, see, whenever you are going to write any kind of blocks or method or class, you should write you know, these things, doc string. Basically this is known as the doc string, so that people will get to know what, who is writing and what this class is doing. This developed by okay. Now I'm gonna create one def underscore underscore init. This init is what I will talk about. This init as of now, just bear with me. Init self. And what is self, that also we'll discuss. Just for now, just bear with me. That's all. I will talk everything in detail. Self.name, Rajesh, self.age, 27, self.mark, 30. That's all. Now I'm gonna def talk self. And here I'm gonna write print. Hello, I am. Hello, I am Anthony Gonsalves, self.name. And here I'm gonna write my I am print. I am instead of this I can write f string I am self dot age years old. And here I'm gonna write print my marks are I scored self dot marks. I scored self dot marks. Why it not came? Okay. So we have string, I forgot to write. I scored these things. Now I executed this class, but did it printed anything? No. We have everything inside of our shop, like all the phones are there, but until unless any customer is not coming to your shop, and until unless he or she is not demanding anything, or until unless your owner is not giving the instruction to bring the phone, you will not represent the thing. Similarly here also. So first thing is that how we can do, we have to see, we created a class and we put all the phones inside of my shops, but still that shop is not representing anything. So how we can show these things? First thing is that we have to call the servant. How we can call the servant? So here we are calling the servant. Object is equal to student, student, student. Okay, and this is the process of creating the object, or in the layman term you can say this is the process to calling the servant. This is the process to call the servant. Okay, this is the process to call the servant. So once we call the servant, our whole process got initialized. This took space in the memory. That's all. Now I will call object a servant, object bring talk wala phone, and now this will bring all the item and it got printed. This is a process, like in the shop also we did the same thing. See, in the electronic shop we have inside of rack we have all the phones, but those phones we cannot show to the customer until unless customer is not coming to the owner, and owner is not listening is instruction, and once he listening the instruction, listen about the instruction, then he is calling to the owner, servant, and the servant taking the instruction and servant bringing the item what owner is asking for. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we'll talk more about these things. I feel like this logic, you didn't understand what is init, what is name, what is this, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. We haven't discussed these things anyhow. But I just shown you this class and this class object relationship with this diagram. Okay, that's all. Now coming to the actual picture. So hope you understood what is class. Class is what? Class is the blueprint of the object. See, blueprint, like it not occupy any space in the memory. Second, object is what? Object is the real-time entity which takes some space in the memory. That's all. Now if I'll talk about more about the class, there is a two thing. One is the constructor. We'll discuss more about these things, and then we'll discuss in collaboration of all the subtopic, and then we'll talk about this. So we'll discuss about the constructor. CUNCTR. Let me write the constructor. What is the constructor? Okay. Constructor, this is also common for any kind of programming language. It's in case of Java, this is also known as the constructor. C plus constructor. In Python, also it's known as the constructor. But writing the way of creation of constructor is different for different classes. Okay, so different to different languages. Like if it is a Java, then constructor name should be the same of the class name. But in case of Python, the constructor name is always with the init. Okay, so this is known as the constructor. And constructor, what it does? Constructor is nothing but it is responsible to initialize the object. Initialize the object, that's all. Constructor is what? Constructor is used to initialize the object. That's all. Means whatever object is there, like name is object, age is object, mark is the object, is used to initialize that. Okay. So constructor is also two types. There is a two type of constructor. There are two types of constructor. Number one, default constructor. Number two, parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor. Okay, now we'll discuss about default constructor. What do you mean by the default constructor? So default, whenever you are creating an object of the class, see, whenever I'm creating this line of call class, the default constructor will get called automatically. Okay, so how can you say this default constructor got called automatically? Let's suppose I'm creating one class A, and inside of class I just write here pass. That's all. I just write here pass, nothing, and I'm gonna create an object of A class. Obj, you can give any name. Obj, I'm giving object is equal to class A, and that's all. Name error. A is not defined. Okay, I have not executed this. And now this class object has been created, and default constructor got called automatically. How you can say default constructor got called automatically? I can show you that part as well. Let's suppose default constructor is this one. Underscore init is the default constructor. Underscore. And here I'm going to write self. I'm not writing anything, and I'm just writing here message print. It got called automatically. It got called automatically. It got called automatically. Now see, I'm not calling this init function, and I'm just creating the object, and see this line of code got executed. Can you see this? That's all. That's what we are calling. It's a default constructor got called automatically. Does it make sense? This constructor will get called
Sir, then why we are defining?
हाँ, अब बता रहे आ रहे वहां भी आ रहे. I'm coming at that point. So this constructor will get called automatic. See why we are defining these things. Okay, so basically I told you what the definition of constructor. Constructor is responsible to initialize the object. Constructor is responsible to initialize the objects, okay, or variables. Instead of object, you can say variables. Initialize the variables. That's all. Now, why we are calling this? Why we are writing the init function? So you can see here. You can see here. This inside of init block, I initialize the name, age, mark. Means I no need to initialize these things separately. So whenever we are creating the object, here, automatically name block got initialized with Rajesh, age block got initialized with age 27, and marks variable got initialized with 80. Does it make sense? With this, only with this line. That's what we are creating the object, and this is known as the default constructor. That's what we are not passing any argument here, but still it got initialized. Now coming to the part, any question? Did I answer your question why we are calling this init?
Yes, sir.
Now coming to the part of self. Okay, here we are writing self. What do you mean by the self? Okay, anybody knows about the this keyword in case of Java or C++? If you heard about this keyword, THIS. Have you heard about this keyword? Yes, no?
No, sir.
Fine, no worries, no worries. This is basically, okay, if I'll talk about this, so see, if let's correlate with this diagram only. See, this diagram you should be map in your mind, because I am going to explain everything with this diagram. So if I want to bring iPhone, then someone need to bring it out, right? And someone should know where is the iPhone is placed, right? So that is known as the reference variable. So this is something like a reference variable which refer to the current class object. Okay, I will write here definition. Self. Self is what? Instead of self, see, in case of Java and C++, this was the static keyword. But in case of Python, you can, instead of writing self, you can write anything. It's up to you. So self is the reference variable which refer the current class object. Just try to understand it, cope up with me. Means I want to initialize the name variable with Rajesh. So I'm calling the servant, which is, see, this servant, it actually, if you can see, this servant is belong to the electronic shop. It might be possible there will need another servant from the other class, grocery shop wala servant. Hey, I need this atta chawal or something. So whom I should call? The servant of the grocery shop, right? So this servant, actually the self servant, is always responsible to call the current class, in which class you are calling. So it initializing the name variable of the current class means student class with the name Rajesh, and age with the current class age. Marks, current class marks variable getting initialized with these things. Does it make sense? Self is nothing but it's a reference variable. And I told you, instead of self, it's not like that. Always you have to write self. You can write A, B, C. That is up to you. Whatever you are writing this, it's a name data. And you can see, still it's getting what? It's up to you. Whatever you are going to write, this is the self. It's in reference variable. Here also is the same. It's a reference variable of the current class. That's all. First argument always will be a reference variable of the current class. That's all. So that you are calling through the current class ka variable, reference variable, and with that you are calling the name. And see, I have not initialized the name any moment of time. It got automatically initialized as soon as I created an object of the student class. Okay, now we understood the parameter default constructor, and now I'm gonna discuss about parameterized constructor. Then we'll take a 5-minute or 10-minute of break, and then we'll discuss more about that. Now, see here, I hard coded the name, age, and marks. I don't want to hard code these things. I want to be parameterize these things: name, age, and comma marks. I want to keep it here. Instead of hard-coded thing, I want to initialize with name. I want to initialize with age. I want to initialize with marks. Okay. This is known as the parameterized constructor. Okay. This is known as the parameterized constructor. Okay. Now, if I will create an object, ab dekho, now I'm calling the servant. Student, and if I will call like this, it will throw an error. Type error. What is the type error? Because you made the constructor as a parameterized, and you have to pass the 3 required positional argument, name, age, marks, which you didn't pass. So I'm gonna pass here Rajesh and comma age, right? age, I'm gonna pass here 27 and I'm gonna pass marks here 80. Now it's fine, it's working fine. Now I'll call the object with talk, obj dot talk. And you can see, and let's suppose I want to create, see, I don't, once I create a class, I can call as many Rajesh, I can write here anything, Ramesh, and I'm gonna create here 29, and I'm gonna create here 90, and see, done. It got initialized with this variable at the runtime. This is known as the parameterized constructor. Does it make sense? The parameterized constructor, default constructor. What do you mean by the default? What do you mean by the parameterized constructor?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Okay, let's keep some questions then, and we'll give you the 5 minutes of time. Okay, as of now, I don't have any questions with my plate. So, okay, we'll take a 10 minute of break once again, and just a minute. We'll take a 10 minute of break once again, and then we'll discuss about these things. Okay. Heck,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
cool. Let's discuss more about the things what I was discussing about constructor. Yeah. So if I will talk about more about the constructor, so constructor is a special method, I can say. Just a minute. So if I will like to define constructor, number one, constructor is the special method. It's like its method, right? And the name of the constructor should be always be init. Number two, this is that the name of the constructor should always be init, and constructor will be executed automatically at the time of object creation, which I already explained and I showed the practically as well. So third point is what? Constructor will be executed automatically and at the time of object creation. Fourth number point is what? The main purpose of the constructor is what? To declare the and initialize the instance variable. And what do you mean by the instance variable? I told you, right? What do you mean by the instance variable? The variable which declare inside of the class but outside of the method, that is known as the instance variable. So instance variable को initialize करने के लिए we are going to use the constructor. Okay, per object constructor will execute only once. Like how many times you are creating the object, that many time constructor will get called. 5 number is what very important. You can see, if I want to give the example of this, you can see like once we created with the Rajesh, it got initialized. Second time I create object with the Ramesh, it got initialized. So how many time per object constructor will execute only once? Once it will get executed. Is it making sense? Whatever I showed, I'm gonna write everything. Constructor can take at least one argument, which is known as the at least one argument, and that is the in reference variable or self, at least self or self. You can, I told you, like instead of self, you can write anything. That's up to you. Okay, now, now I am gonna show you one thing. So, uh, so before that, I'm going to control M. I'm gonna show you one thing. I'm gonna create one class tst, and inside of that class, I'm gonna write a define initialize the constructor, and this is the constructor, right? And constructor I'm gonna write, and here I'm gonna write a self, and I'm gonna write constructor executed, print constructor executed, constructor executed, executed. Now I'm gonna create one more method, def m1 I'm gonna create, and here I'm whatever things you will write inside of class, you have to write one reference variable, and that can you give the self. Self is the more explanatory, like self means like what inside of that class, it referred to the class, current class. That's all we are going to write the self. M1, and here I'm gonna write the print method got called. Method got called. I'm gonna execute this. I'm gonna write a control MB, and here I'm gonna write what I'm gonna write T1, and T1 is equal to TEST. Okay, so I'm gonna write T1 command C command. Okay, why not multiple time with the same variable? This is the calling of the servant. Tell me what output will come. Can anyone help me? What the output will come with the line cell, this cell? Hello, are we here?
Yes, sir.
What the output will come? See, 4 time constructor executed. I just told you right here. Can you see this? Constructor will be executed automatically at the time of object creation. And per object constructor will execute only once. Like how many times we create an object, that many time constructor will get called, this init constructor. And it is a default constructor, it get called automatically whenever you are creating that. So 4 time. the constructor executed successfully will come into the picture. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, can anyone tell me T1.M1? What the output will come with this?
Constructor executed and methods got called.
Sorry, can you repeat? Sorry, I missed it.
The constructor executed and method got called.
Yeah, 4 times constructor executed and
Method दोनों साथ में आएगा.
yes, last minute. That's all. Okay. So method is the, like, you have to call explicitly. It will not execute automatically. So you have to call that method. Okay. So क्या होता है? Like in SOP also, if we are calling someone, सबसे पहले कौन जाता है? SOP servant. Servant is coming to the owner, right? It's not like पहले ही phone चला जाएगा, right? So servant will go to in front of owner and he will take a requirement and he will call to the person whatever he wants in the same way. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about more about things. I think I'm gonna create one more class here. Okay, wait. I will do one thing. I will close, cut this, cut this, cut this, cut this. I'll create a class here. Koi doubt? Any doubt, you guys? Do you guys having any kind of doubt? Feel free to let me know. I'm happy to answer your question. See, I might miss something, but you have to address that. If you ask the question, I might recall the things. Because it's a huge topic, huge topic. If you can able to understand this topic, then means your programming concept is clear. That's all I can say. You can learn any kind of program. So I'm gonna write here the student class need a, I'm gonna create a constructor TF underscore init. And here I'm gonna write self. And here I'm gonna write XYZ, X, Y, Z. This I'm gonna write self dot name. Is self dot name means current class name variable. That's what it known as the instance variable, because it's a current class ka variable. That's what is the instance variable. And name I'm gonna initialize with name, but here the name is X. And again I'm gonna write the same thing. Command C, Command V, and this should be age, or you can say roll number. Roll number, and that roll number is getting initialized by Y. And I'm gonna define marks, self dot marks is equal to, I'm gonna define by Z, initialize by Z. That's all. That's all. Now I'm gonna create one more function, def display, display display, and here I'm gonna write self, and here I'm gonna write print f stringing. I'm gonna do that the student name, stud, and the student underscore name, and here I'm gonna write self dot name, because you are gonna call the current class object, and this is the self. Self is that referring to the current class reference variable, and this is the variable name, which is the instance variable, comma roll number, or else I can write /n roll number colon, and here I'm gonna write self dot roll number and /n. I'm gonna write /n so that new line will come, and marks is equal to colon. I'm gonna write here marks colon. I'm gonna write here self dot marks. Okay, not like that. Self dot.
Sir,
हाँ बोलिए sir.
without define the display self,
हाँ.
we can give a print statement. No, sir. What
Yeah,
you
you can
mean,
give,
no?
you can give, but
But-
you can give. Now next question is what?
Then why you're giving this like
Okay.
object?
Actually, see, initialization should be in the same one block, and the displaying function should be different block. That's what known as the modular coding. That's what we are creating different things. You can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So is it necessary like modular coding
Yes.
should be initialized? Okay.
Yes, modular coding. That's what industry. Otherwise, you will be a student only.
Okay.
Student, and here I'm gonna create Rajesh or Ramya, comma, and second argument is roll number. And you can, it's not like that you have to give XYZ. You can give the same name as well. That's up to you. The roll number is 1008 and comma marks is 80. And I did that, but it didn't display anything. So S1, because I haven't called the display function. Now you can say a student name is Ramya. This. Now I'm gonna do one more time. This time I want to initialize with Akshaya. Okay. And this is the roll number is 1009 and this is roll number 90. Now you can call these things. I can see this the result, right? So these are all about a constructor. And now, did you understood about the constructor and class, object, anything, any questions so far, so forth? And you can see this init function constructor just treating as a function. Hana? It's like a function only, just but name is underscore underscore init.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now my question is, you said yes. Now my question is with you. What is the difference between the constructor and method? What is the difference between constructor and method? I'll wrap it up today here only. I will not extend, but just give me the definite difference between these two things. You know everything. What is constructor? What is function? अरे बोलो भाई देख करके भी बोल सकते everyone platform is open.
कंस्ट्रक्टर इनिशियलाइज करने के लिए यूज होता है.
No, constructor we no need to call constructor, but function को action में लाने के लिए we have to call. You can see, देखो display को हमको action में लाने के लिए we have to call, but constructor we no need to call. I'm not writing here. You have to write here. First point I did. Second point. Constructor का नाम always static होता है, like init. You cannot give any name, but function you can give any name. समझ में आ रहा है? Hello, hello, hello. Yes. So these are two main difference in constructor and method, normal method. Okay. Are we okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Any okay. Now I'll ask to Akshay to share your. Okay. She shared me. I think she shared me yesterday or day before yesterday. Let me open his her this what I call documents where I kept WhatsApp. Just a minute. Let me open in front of all so that everyone can see that. Copy link address. Okay. So this is actually assignment. She did that. Let me see what is she done. First problem with Akshay, like, can you write a question? What was the question? So that program to print the number of line, word, character present in the given file. Right. 4 character. Right here in lesson. Right. You're writing this thing. And the text you are opening in the reading mode and you are going to read this thing. That's cool. And now you are going to open in the write mode and file name, print file name, app.name. Okay, nice. File name, check.text. And you have done these things, write homework. And here you are gonna read these things. Okay, check.test, write a program to check whether the given file exists or not. Yeah. This is not a right way to do this for program. I just given the solutions today morning. Can you implement that? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just do that. It's not a right way to check. See here, you are getting file not found error. You have to solve this. And you can solve this thing with the try and accept block. Otherwise, it's everything is fine for me.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, and also give the name of the page so that you can also get to know in the future what is that does. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, nice. Nice, then that's all for today, I think. And I will.
So can you share the drive link?
Yeah, it's there. Okay, you are not in the master. Okay, no worries. I can share the my notes or new batch, and here is the master class sheet link, and you will get to know all the class link here only. I'll share in the WhatsApp group. Just a minute. Should be. Yeah, I shared the master class. Inside of master class link only, you will get to know all classes link. Okay, so here you can see the videos link and day 9 आज मैं डाल दूंगा यहाँ पे, and you will get all those class link wise things. You can see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 9. I will put today's blogs links, like these things. I have to keep it here. Upload, and I will upload this as well. So 2 file I have been uploaded just now. Okay, that's all. And this diagram, flow diagram also I have been added here. You can see, and video will get uploaded in 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, fine. We'll meet on these weekdays. I am planning to capture one more class so that we can cover as many things we can, so that we can start at least the Python project, and we can start the data science and ML AI part. Okay, so any doubt, guys? Anything? No, fine. Okay, cool then. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your time. We'll meet on coming days. Like I think Monday or Tuesday, I will share these things. Okay, one more class. I'll update in the advance.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.